Welcome to Digital Chatter by Norus. I'm your host, Jermaine Henry, CEO of Norus Technologies. On this podcast, we speak with leaders and change makers using technology to drive real impact in organizations and communities. Today, I'm joined by Conor Doyle, Director of Technology at Cause Strategy Partners. He leads their BoardLead platform, a tool that connects executives and nonprofits for impactful board service. CSP is one of our clients, so I'm very excited for this conversation. Let's jump in. Connor, could you introduce yourself, your role, and how you came to join CSP?
Sure. So I'm Conor Doyle. I'm the Director of Technology here at Cause Strategy Partners. And I was introduced to CSP back in 2016 as I was the lead developer at a development agency that CSP had hired to build out the first iteration of BoardLead.com. So I helped build out the first version, and I immediately knew that I wanted to stay in contact with CSP and work for them eventually. And so I was able to and came on full time back in 2020 to run development here at CSP.
That's super interesting. You're just like me, right? Just like us working with you from that angle. Okay. What excites you most about the work that you're doing at CSP?
I think what most excites me is really just being able to work on a product that has such a big impact on nonprofits across the US and in London. It's just great to be able to bring such a positive impact to a bunch of different organizations all over that I wouldn't be able to individually be able to support.
Yeah, I understand that. And I mean, you talk about nonprofits. How specifically does CSP serve these nonprofit clients?
Cause Energy Partners serves our nonprofits by matching them with professionals across the US and the UK through our technology platform, BoardLead.com.
Tell me a little bit more about the BoardLead platform.
Sure. Our BoardLead platform is a website that we've been running now for about 9 years. Use it to manage all aspects of our BoardLead program. We take our applications from potential nonprofits as well as our potential BoardLead candidates. And once we get their application information, we then make our matches through the site and just facilitate the different training and updates and things like that to make sure that the board lead candidate is prepared for board service when they are elected to their nonprofit boards.
So basically, the platform manages everything end to end for the service of getting somebody in, getting a nonprofit in, onboarding them, finding a good match, and then getting them ready for the next step.
That's exactly right. Yep.
What has been the biggest challenge in taking this product on and like moving from an external vendor into, joining the team and building the whole thing out?
Sure. I would say the biggest challenge that we face is really making sure that we use technology to enhance our services, but we still need to keep the human element in this. Everything that we do is focused on making sure we have good connections and good relationships with all of our stakeholders. So really just finding that balance between making ourselves as efficient and scalable as possible, but again, still sticking to our roots of making sure that the human element is really there to that understands the nonprofits, understands the candidates, and that we're making good matches.
I fully understand that. I mean, like from Nora's side, we're always talking about like productizing expertise. Like we're taking what the team knows natively, what they do every day, and then, you've seen how we can like augment that and scale that with technology. But that can't be done unless the teams are informing it. And then also there's some parts that, still needs the human touch at the end of the day. But you've been working with us for about almost a year now. I think actually a year.
Yeah, just over a
Yeah.
year, I think.
Uh, yeah, it's been great. I would love to hear a little bit more about your experience and what are you most proud of from this collaboration?
Absolutely. So yeah, we brought in Norus about this time last year to help us design the experience of Boardly.com. The previous version wasn't very user friendly, and it needed a complete refresh. We had a great experience going through the design process with Norus. They dug into all of our stakeholders and make sure that we were accounting for everyone's needs really. And then fast forward a little bit into towards the end of last year, we we're initially going to be building out the actual implementation of these new designs in-house, and we quickly came to a realization that we didn't have the capacity to do so. So for the last about 8 months now, we've been working with Norus to actually implement and build out all the designs, and it's been a great experience overall. What I'm most proud of is just the sheer amount of work that we've been able to accomplish this year. We definitely would not have been able to do it on our own with just myself and another developer to do this, but we've really been able to implement these pretty sweeping design changes. We've also, as part of that, kind of standardized the way that we handle some of our data, doing some cleanup on our kind of code architecture and things. Overall, just we've been able to accomplish so much more partnering up with Norus than we would have been able to do so on our own.
It's great to hear from the other side. Working at CSP has been amazing. Very, very great team that has been accommodating. We've had some tight deadlines, but we've been able to
Yeah.
meet them just because of the collaborative approach. We haven't, I don't think we've gotten into any situation where we have scope creep. We're very clear about what needs to be done up front. So I'll tell you from now, that's not that's not very common across the board. So we definitely appreciate the collaboration. Do you have any advice that you'd give to any organization that would be considering working with Norus? Like, how would you tell them to approach the work?
Sure. I would say you kind of touched on it. The first thing that comes to mind is try to give you guys more time, better deadlines than we've been able to work with so far. We've kind of come in with some pretty challenging timelines, and Norris has been able to meet them. But I think that the team would appreciate having a little more room to work. But otherwise, I think really just I think my advice would be to just to trust Norris. We went in with kind of just open eyes, looking for advice on the best way that we can design the site that is user friendly. All these kind of skills and things that we don't have in house and needed help with, and really Norris has delivered. So I think really just to sum it up is you can trust Norris to deliver what they say they will and be able to understand your needs and translate them into whatever the final product is going to be.
Thank you for that. For anybody who is looking to work with CSP, just know they're very understanding. They are all about collaboration, all about communication. The proactive communication I definitely appreciate the most. So I want to jump into future a little bit. So we all know what's happening. We also see new developments every day on North side. We're just like, is software development going to be obsolete in 5 years? Maybe, maybe not. But I'd love to kind of hear what you see happening in AI that may be relevant to, BoardLead, maybe relevant to CSP.
Sure, yeah. Specifically talking about AI, it's very much a conversation that we're having internally at CSP and across, again, all of our different stakeholders, how we can best serve them by using this technology that's out there. A couple of ways that we're looking at it is one way is to kind of enhance our nonprofit searching capability for our board lead candidates as they're going through the process. We're exploring using AI to kind of optionally give them another way to surface nonprofits that they would be interested in serving. So just being able to use AI beyond or to enhance our searching beyond just normal filtering and keyword searching and things like that. So we're pretty excited exploring getting a tool release that will help us out there. And then more just generally, now at CSP, we've got a treasure trove of data from the last 10 years for all these matches and things like that. So we're really starting to explore using AI and how we can dig into this data a little more deeply and tease out that relevant information we can use elsewhere. So we've got a few different kind of projects that are in various stages of completion as we're looking at using it for that.
It sounds like you have a solid roadmap, and a lot of the elements that a lot of people I don't think are considering when they're building out AI applications. Like you're thinking about the data, you're thinking about enhancing the current user experience. A lot of people are thinking about the hype. What would you say would be the best advice for anybody, any organization looking to implement AI into their current workflows or applications? What would you say? What are the first steps that they should take before they even start anything?
I think the first step would probably be having a clear idea of what you're trying to get out of using AI for. There's many different tools that will achieve a lot of the same results. So it may not necessarily make the most sense to use AI for maybe a routine kind of task. But yeah, having a clear sense of where you want to go with the AI. And then I think on top of that, having a really strong opinion on what your user base needs. In my personal opinion, using things for front end facing, you have to be very careful with AI, just because we know that there's plenty of opportunity for it to hallucinate or just give odd answers and things. So, personally speaking, I'm very cautious on anything that will be end user facing. That we want to make sure that it's going to be completely accurate. So, yeah, really just having a good sense of where you want to go and what your users need. And then maybe the last thing is data security. It's kind of the wild wild west, and just making sure that you understand kind of the trade offs and the risks of using different AI platforms, and kind of your confidential information. So just being make sure you have a strong security plan in place before we're implementing as well.
Yeah, I think that's a very robust look at it. Definitely want to emphasize 2 points. One, definitely the user base. Like, how does your user base actually interact with the platform? How are they going to benefit? How does this enhance their process? And then definitely, yes, on the data security side, everybody's been thinking, okay, do technologies create new vulnerabilities?
Mhm.
We all need to definitely be aware of that. So, Connor, thank you so much for the time. Can you tell me where our audience can connect with cost strategy partners, and what we can kind of look out for from CSP over the next 6 months?
Of course, our main website that you can learn all about us is at causestrategypartners.com. If you are a nonprofit and in need of board recruitment services, we are currently taking applications to match with professionals through boardlead.com. And finally, find us on LinkedIn. We post there quite a bit, and it's a way that you can interact with us there as well.
Connor, thank you so much for the time, and it's been great talking with you, and it's been a pleasure working with you for the last year.
Of course, Jermaine. Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to follow Norus Technologies on LinkedIn, Facebook, and all other major platforms. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss a new episode.